Do you know your neighbors? Maybe you greet them on the sidewalk, or even share a cup of coffee now and then. But what if behind a friendly smile, something darker was hiding? Get ready, because what you're about to hear are 3 real neighbor horror stories, and they'll make you look over the fence in a completely different way. And what if, in the end, the real danger was living right next door? Story 1. The Woman Next Door. My name is Taylor, and this story happened when I was a freshman in college. After my first year, I missed the deadline to secure a spot in the dorms and, in a panic, ended up moving into a cooperative house a bit far from campus. It was a complex of 3 houses, with a shared kitchen and a mix of residents, students, a few alumni, and even some teaching assistants. But there was one person who stood out, and not in a good way. An older woman, probably around 60, walked with a limp and had a blank, eerie look. Always silent, she would show up in places where she clearly didn't belong. Like the day she stood in our kitchen, doing nothing, just watching Dot, and the worst part, she seemed to stare directly at me. Even with 20 people in the room, it felt like I was the only one she saw. One cold night, I looked out my window, and there she was, standing in the middle of the street, staring at my room. I made the worst mistake I could. I waved. She jumped with joy and ran into her house. My stomach dropped. I had just confirmed that room was mine. Things only got worse. One night, I opened my bedroom door, and there she was, standing in the hallway. It was the middle of the night. She ignored me and walked away. From then on, I started locking my door every night, until I lost my key. A few nights later, I woke up to a soft bumping noise coming from my closet. Something shifting inside. When I opened it, she was there, inside my closet, with one of my ties around her neck and a knife in her hand. She lunged at me. I managed to disarm her with the help of my housemates, who came running after hearing my screams. The police took her away. Later, we found out she was the landlord's sister, and he had let her live there in secret despite her severe mental health issues. She had my keychain in her pocket. She knew everything about me, my schedule, my habits. It was like she had mapped out my life. I could have died that night, and I still don't know why she picked me. Story 2. The Dangerous Girlfriend Next Door. This story isn't mine, but I saw it all happen. I'm retired, live with my husband Roberto, and spend my afternoons on the porch reading and listening to true crime podcasts. When a young man moved into the house across the street, I was glad to see a new face around. His name was Peter. Mid-20s, well-dressed, friendly. Said he worked in digital entertainment, something a bit too modern for me. He got along great with Roberto. They talked about sports and investments. Everything seemed normal. Then, a girl started showing up. Young, blonde, looked like a model. She had a copy of Peter's house key. I assumed she was his girlfriend. One day, I saw them arguing in the driveway, loudly, after that. She kept coming back, always when Peter wasn't home. Roberto told me to let it go, but something about her felt off. The way she looked around, like she was always planning something. Then came the sirens. That night, the police took the girl away in handcuffs. Peter came out on a stretcher, bleeding. Turns out, she had stolen his key, installed hidden cameras in his bedroom, and tracked his phone. When he tried to break up with her, she returned with a knife. She watched everything from a hidden camera behind the bookshelf. Every move, every word. He survived, but he was never the same. Said he'd never trust anyone again. He moved away. Days later, we never saw him again. Story 3. The fake party next door after a rough breakup. I moved into a new house in a peaceful neighborhood filled with families. But the guy next door, he was different. His name was Elvis. Seemed like a good guy. Said he worked in finance, but he lived alone in a huge house. Never saw guests, deliveries, nothing. One night, loud music woke me up. I looked out the window. Cars filled his driveway. I went over, knocked, no answer. The door was unlocked, inside. A pile of shoes by the door. Loud music, voices, laughter, but no one. Then I realized it wasn't music. It was a recording, a fake party soundtrack. I went down to the basement. There, I saw 3 older men wearing industrial gear, rubber gloves, goggles, and that strong chemical smell. They were focused on something I couldn't see. At the back, a metal table reflected the dim light. I never saw what was on it. Maybe that was for the best. I ran. Minutes later, a group of men stormed out of the house, looking everywhere, but Elvis wasn't among them. He vanished, never came back. The house was abandoned. None of the neighbors heard the music, as if nothing had happened. I still don't know what I witnessed, but I know it was real, and I'm sure I should never have gone inside that house. 3 neighbors, 3 stories, each one more disturbing than the last. Taylor barely made it out alive. Peter nearly died for trusting the wrong person, and Elvis may have uncovered something no one else was meant to see. The truth is, you never really know what's happening behind the walls next door. The perfect facade can hide the darkest secrets. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. And if you want more stories like this, check out this video right here. It'll send chills down your spine. See you in the next one. Take care, and keep an eye on your neighbor.